I just had a crazy, mind-blown moment. You know how all throughout the Bible, God gives people promises, but it doesn't just happen like this. There's so many stories that was like years and years and years, and then the promise came through. I don't know why this just popped up in my mind, but you hear so many times about social media and how it's just destroying this generation and whatever. Like, there's a lot of good in social media, but there's also a lot of bad. This girl was talking about the story of Joseph and how he had a dream. Then, all these bad things happened to him. Then years later, God blessed him and whatnot, but it didn't happen overnight. It was like God showed him something, went through a trial, and then eventually he was blessed. Something that came to my mind is social media and our phones are one of the most addicting things in this generation, and it's supposed to bring people together, but I feel like it's like tearing people apart. And not only that, but this is the part that stood out to me, is social media is like instant gratification. You have a question about something, go on the internet. You want to look something up, go on the internet. You want to talk to someone across the world, go on your phone. There is no waiting. And I feel like the enemy is using that as a tool to believers, that when they get a promise from the Lord, when the Lord shows them something, because we're so used to instant gratification, the devil can so easily be like, oh, see, it didn't happen yet. That must not be true. That wasn't God. Was that actually God? Did you actually hear from him? And he starts whispering in our ears. Because if he can get us to be like, oh, you're right, it didn't happen yet, so God didn't tell me that, or maybe this isn't my promise, because everything else happens like that. So if this isn't happening like that, it's not happening. That's just not true. That's not how God works. Anything that's worth having takes time. If you think about it, you go to the gym. You don't just go to the gym once and you have your perfect body. If you are sick, you don't just sit down for 2 seconds and you're better. No, like, it takes time to heal. You go to the gym, it takes time to build that body. You don't just walk into a brand new job you have no idea what to do and just start working. It takes time. You need to train. You get married, right? You have all these things that you're learning and growing, and it takes time to have a good marriage. You're a new parent learning how to take care of a child. It takes time. You want to build a house for your family. You don't just build a house overnight. It takes time. In this world and our phones and the instant gratification has been so ingrained in our minds that the enemy can so easily be like, well, if it hasn't happened yet, that's just not happening. Because if it was supposed to happen, it would have already happened. That's not true. So instead of looking at social media and phones and in this generation stuff, look at the word and look at all the things that had to take time before it was something good, before you got to the promise. I don't know why that clicked in my mind tonight, but wow.